Welcome everyone. At the press conference after round 7, we had another decisive result today. Jan Nepomniachtchi won the game, and now the result is 4-2-3 in favor of Jan Nepomniachtchi. My first question goes to Dink. The most critical moment was on move 32. You had 8 moves still to make until the time control increment, and you made rook to d2 and then rook to d3 inaccurate moves. Can you give us an idea what happened at that moment?
Yeah, in the previous move, when he played rook c4, suddenly I realized maybe I was slightly worse after that. Then I cannot go rook d3, he can take on c5, and then he had rook c8 check. And if I just wait on king g7, he will just play rook f1. If he is stabilized, maybe he's going to be better. So I want to take immediate attention, so I play h4. With the idea take rook d2, but I totally missed rook e2, rook d1, king g2. So after gh, I started to think again, and I couldn't find any way to make the games to continue. But after the game, he told me that I can play bishop d4 after queen c5. Maybe it's a chance to draw.
Mm-hmm. You have spent a lot of time for this move, rook to d2. Is there a chance that you just somehow disconnected and you just lose the control on time?
Yeah, after g takes h4, it's very hard to play actually. If I just wait here, then he'll play rook f1, then my position hopeless. So I just couldn't find the right continuation during the game.
Right, thank you. And also, Jan, this very same moment, can you please verbalize what have you felt at that moment when you saw this rook to d2, rook to d3 inaccurate moves played way before the time increment?
Well, I'd say the game, like the whole game, was extremely sharp, extremely tense, and I don't know, I felt like I should be doing quite fine. But after f4, suddenly bishop d6 is superb move, and I mean, I didn't really see what to do. So maybe like there were like a lot of sharp lines, but I couldn't like figure out what do I do. So I went to this position like it's slightly worse, surely. I mean, this pawn for exchange, because okay, my rook's placed poorly. And also I was like very skeptical about my position in case if black would play bishop f6 instead of queen d6. Because after rook h7, queen d6 is like, it looks ugly. My rook is stuck on h7, it's never an attack, and my king is weak. So I was really concerned at this point, but after, let's say, queen d6, at least okay, I could play queen e3, rook c4, and just stabilize a little. So I shouldn't be losing by force or something, yeah. And after it was like suddenly h4, I guess black has all reasons to be ambitious here, but I would say it would be quite normal to make some solid moves, like, I don't know, king g7, just rook f5, repeat once or twice, and then, okay, pass the time trouble, because black has endless moves, basically. Yes, sir, but black could never be worse because of my king is so weak and d-file is controlled. Yeah, after h4, I felt like maybe it becomes like sharp and, you know, let's say 3 results instead of 2. And then after rook d2, rook e2, rook d3, okay, my first intention was to grab on c5 immediately, but then I saw bishop d4 check. You know, c takes d4 in case, rook d1 check, king g2, queen f4, and I wasn't sure if there is a win for me, because okay, my king is so exposed, and there is like queen f1 idea and so on. So perhaps, I mean, okay, I always have a draw, but maybe black is also doing fine. Yeah, I mean, black can hold the draw. So after bishop d4, I can at least try. After bishop d4, I can at least try like taking on d4 with the queen, and play 2 rooks against the queen with the c pawn, pass it. But yeah, it should be probably about equality, but yeah, would remain very complex. And after he, yeah, you know, suddenly played rook d3, queen c5, rook d1 check, yeah, I felt like he completely lost the trace, and here I think my king is super safe because okay, rook on c4, it controls all sorts of checks from g4, e4, and yeah, basically white I think is winning at this point, and also like the time trouble became really severe.
Right. Thank you very much. Ding, we know that you French defense was one of your favorite openings in your childhood, let's say at the beginning of your chess career, but you have not played since 2013, according to the database. You played it here strictly because of the practical reasons, or there were some sort of sentimental reasons to that?
I think both reasons exist. Actually, during a walk with Richard back in Hangzhou, I told him I may play French defense, but it's half joke, half serious, but he take it seriously. So yesterday he insisted me I can try this French defense to surprise my opponent, and I take advice. I prepared a lot for this game. The opening phrase was, the opening was the one which I played in my childhood, but now the theory has developed a lot of, so it's not the old French, it can be called some new French idea variations. Yeah. So, but I played the game, I think, not so bad, but just in the end, I messed up things.
Right, and we saw on cameras that when Jan played the first move, you took some time to make your decision. Was that your decision that you made on board, or you were already prepared? You made this decision earlier. It's just you were going through some process.
Of course, I prepared a lot for this game. The French defense. I just want to recall a lot of things, then play this move.
Okay, thank you. Jan, probably this was not a complete surprise to you, and you demonstrated to be prepared in the opening. But before the match, how would you have rated possibility of having to face French defense in this match?
I'd say French defense is completely okay. Yes, so it's nothing wrong. Perhaps the only problem is that if white expects French defense, it could be tricky. Yes, so white could dig somewhere deeply and try to test black in some critical lines. And knight d2 is of course not a critical line, but knight d2. I always felt that this is like some safe, very safe small edge for white. Very small, but very safe. Yeah. So, you'll get crazy if you prepare each and every opening for every game. So I had an idea. So in case of the French, I'll play, let's say my stuff, which I used to play a lot, I think, online, and we had I would say a few games against Sasha Grishuk in this line, yes, so with successes from both sides at some point, yes. So, but I always thought that this bishop e7, knight c6 should be somewhat forced for black, and I was slightly surprised because I think black is trying to be more, let's say, more principled in this line, like after 95, some bishop c5 ideas, or even b6, bishop b7. At least I can recall Sasha played something like this against me. So, yeah, I guess it was quite a smart choice. Probably every side got what he wanted.
All right, thank you. And Ding, there was the moment on move 8, knight to c6, if I may ask about that move. You ruined the pawn structure with that move on the queen side. Can you explain the advantages of this move, why you went to that decision?
If
Knight
I'm
c6, knight c6.
not forgot my preparation, I guess I remember it was part of my preparation. Just end up take, castle, something like this.
Have you planned some potential kingside attack with that, with bishop b7?
No, my preparation basically ends there.
Oh, okay. All right. And also, like every day you come here with the surprises in the opening. Is that the part of your general strategy for the match to be unpredictable in the openings?
I can only say that this French defense is until now is only for this round. Yeah, I don't know what will happen next.
All right, thank you. And my last question to Jan, and then I'll give the floor to journalists. Jan gave us the impression of being a little bit tired today. Could you rest well yesterday on the rest day, or were you still affected by the things, how it went on game 6?
No, I wouldn't say I felt like extremely tired. I'd say after rest day, normally you're not too tired. But since we have like sofa in the lounge, I felt like I got to make some use of this.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for the answers, and now it's time for the press. Please, Mike.
Thank you. Mike Klein with chess.com. My question is for Grandmaster Jan Nepomniachtchi. Going into this match, when you saw that the time control had no increment until move 60, this was the first day where I think it really mattered a lot. Did you think that was an advantage for you, this time control?
No idea. So it could be like a vice versa situation, yeah. But I'd say maybe I played slightly more games with this time control recently, but I don't think it makes some difference. Yeah. So I guess today, like, I was sort of lucky to see this h4, and like suddenly like has to make some strong moves to keep up the initiative. Otherwise, it's just like a free pawn for me, and which is also important. It opens some like nice files for rooks like gf and h5, and yeah, my king would go to h3. Yeah, so in some lines. So I guess yeah, as it happened, of course, it gave me some favor. But I wouldn't rely on this too much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Do we have more questions from press? Please feel free to come forward. We have microphones on both sides. Mike, let's go. Second question.
Still for Jan Nepomniachtchi, now that we're halfway through the match, I know you said going into the match you wanted to play perhaps a little truer to your style in this match. Do you feel like now that we're halfway through, you can say that you've done so to this point?
Well, depends on what you supposed to be closer to my style, yeah. So like no draws or something, yeah, or what? Okay, I just try to play chess, yeah. But I mean, whatever you do, like however you play, you get to play well. I mean, and the game is not like won't end in the opening, yeah, or right after the opening normally, yes. So it's still everything to be decided later. So well, I just try to play, yeah, like. But I don't think I can even try to specify.
The results are so completely different than from 2021. Do you feel different given the fact that we have such a seesaw battle?
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, clearly I didn't expect anything like this. So like a lot of punches, yeah, to both sides. But yeah, I guess no one actually expected, yeah. So perhaps people for at least for some time wouldn't like state that okay, classical chess is dead or something. Yeah, so it can still. I mean, okay, I'm not sure if it's fun, but it's exciting for sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, and as you just quoted this, are you following social media while you're playing match?
I'm trying to like see as little as possible. Yeah, so if I occasionally see something, I immediately close everything. Yeah, so
Okay.
close my browser and plug off from the electricity.
What about you, Ding? How often do you use social media to get some information?
Not
during
so
the-
much.
All right, do we have more questions, please?
Ulrich Stock from Die Zeit, Hamburg, Germany. A question for Ding Liren. You gave the impression that you decide very spontaneously what to play in every game, what opening. Is this impression correct? That you decided right before the game?
You give us the impression that you are making spontaneous decisions.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, you just make up the decisions on the board. This is the impression we have. Is that right? Or
That you choose the opening right before the game, not very much in advance.
Okay, for this game, I just prepared yesterday for this game.
Thank you. We can get ready with the press for questions, and now I think it's time for Twitter segment. Please, Jesse, you can bring us the questions.
Hello, Jessie February here. My first question was for Ding. What were you going to play if Jan played knight g4 instead of rook a e1? I'm sorry if Jan had addressed this line already.
H5.
h5? Okay, did you consider rook takes d3?
If you,
There was
yeah,
knight
if you
g4.
take with a pawn.
And then was h5 in somewhere in that lines?
Yeah. Okay. The next question is for both of you from Hari. What about your playing style separates you from other top players?
Jan, let's go first with you.
I have no idea. I think okay, there are like some players whom you. I mean, if you're given just a game without the names, yeah, you wouldn't recognize like this or that player. So I think from some point it applies to me equally. So it's like pretty much trying to find the strongest moves, and like as much as like my opponent lets me play, I try to play. So I don't know. Of course, like there are like people more attacking, less attacking, or something. Yeah, but I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't say there is like a major difference nowadays.
Please just repeat the question for Ding.
All right. What about your playing style separates you from other top players?
I don't know which kind of playing style for me. I'm playing now because I'm playing different lines, different moves, and different ideas. I don't know which playing style.
Okay, that's fine. We can go to the next question.
Sure. All right, the next question is from Jack. Ding, did you and your team know about the 1987 game between Krupa Dokheim?
No.
Okay.
You answered so fast, Ding. That's so suspicious. No. Okay, do we have more questions from Twitter?
Yeah, I have one
Please,
more.
one.
Jan, what was going through your mind when Ding's time was running low near the end?
One more time.
Okay, surely I didn't mind. Because yeah, it's. I mean, you really won't see these too often. Yeah, like so literally like a few seconds for a few moves. But I guess at this point, then when he was below a minute, he already sort of like got driven by the wrong ideas. So it was even more important for me than I still have like 5 minutes or something, yeah, to calculate lines if necessary. So of course, it was like a major factor, but at this point, I thought its positionally it was already like more or less decided.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jesse, and all the spectators who are asking the questions in Twitter. We have one more question from press. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Harry Schark, Chess Magazine Car Germany. My question is to Ian Nepomniachtchi. Today, that was the first time you had not a big time advantage at a certain time at move 30 or around 30. How did you cope with this time pressure? You had only 10 minutes or a bit more than 10 minutes for 10 moves. Was it a problem for you, or was a tense position? So. Yeah,
I guess it would be a problem. It could easily become a problem. But normally, if your position is poor, like extra 10 or 20 minutes won't help. And also today it was loads of lines to calculate through all the game. Yeah, so basically, the line which was mentioned, for example, knight g4, h5. Yeah, and here some different moves also. So I was trying to calculate as much as possible, using both my time and my opponent's time. Probably I didn't succeed, as at some point I got even worse, but I guess after I played rook c4, and it was at least my next few moves are very, very simple, yeah, so it was, I wouldn't call this a very, very bad time trouble, but yeah, for sure, it could turn either way.
Thank you for answering the questions. Do we have more questions from press? This can be our last question if anyone is willing to ask. I would like to thank players to come here and answer our questions, because it's very difficult and we understand this, and we appreciate very much. I guess we have no more questions. Tomorrow is a rest day, another rest day, and I wish our players to have a good rest day. So thank you.